Hello everybody and welcome to IRL F2 here in Austria. Sorry I spent so long trying to get this thing going. I was trying to get the stream off my phone, except it didn't quite work out for me, so we're just going to be a minute while I try and do that as well, except we're starting a little bit late in qualifying because I ended up on the toilet. But anyway, I'm your commentator today, Jack Yates, and also known as Nexus Iceman, and I'm your only commentator today because nobody was doing co-comments with me, and it's kind of sad. So anyway, we're joining midway through quali. We've only got 11 drivers, which is an awful turnout. And I just realised I was speaking way too fast, so I'm going to slow down a bit, and we're going to go with that. But yeah, it's a bit of a tragic turnout, to be fair, but that's okay, and you've only got me, so I'm just going to be waffling into your ears the entire time, except currently the provisional pole time already from Lewis something, I've forgotten his name. I'll get the driver names up in a minute as well, so I'm a bit unprepared for this one. But anyway, Lewis, he's currently sitting on provisional pole by about 2/10 over Jamie Morris in second place with a 2.9, which is almost as fast as my time trial, and that kind of makes me sad, and I can't lie about that. So that's a bit tragic for me, but the drivers are just so quick and it scares me. But Austria, it is the shortest track on the game, on the entire calendar of F1. So unless you count in real life with Bahrain and their new funky layout, which is going to be sub 1 minute laps, but on the game, this is the shortest track we have, and I'm expecting the pole time to maybe be around maybe a 2.3. I don't even know, 2.3, 2.6, somewhere around there. I don't have a clue, but I still can't find my own stream, and that's not good. It's not coming up, and that's worrying me. Yeah, it would really help if a co-com at this sort of point, when I'm trying to find the stream when it's not coming up. And Fred decides to make himself known as, but except somebody's name, which I don't know yet, because, oh, I'm so sorry. I'm really sorry. I'm just trying to get something up. But anyway, yeah. McPaper, he goes P7 with a 1.13.5, which is pretty decent as well, except we've got Rocco. He's coming on this outlap. We're going to go on board with him for a lap, and we're going to go for a little tour around the Red Bull Ring, the Austria circuit, coming into turn 1. You want to get up on that curb to get as much turn as you can. And Fred, can you shut up? But anyway, through turn 1, getting a nice amount of cut, trying to keep the traction. It's about 4th gear, some medium speed corner into the slowest corner of the track, again getting on the curb, so you get good turning, short shifting up into 3rd, accelerating away. I sometimes have issues with, right, seriously, that dog is going to go put on a barbecue in a minute. But anyway, this is my least favourite corner on the track, as I always end up locking up into this right hand turn, one of many on this track with very little turns. But anyway, as he locks up again, Rocco does, as I normally would, into the 2 left-handers, turning in late, braking late, getting a nice run for the next left-hander, shifting down into 5th, once again into the last few right-handers. Sometimes people spin through there. I find if you get on the curbs, then you tend to spin. Now into these final 2 corners, always tricky, very high speed right-hander, and into the final corner, you always have to get that right to really do your lap well. And he's going to come across the line. Will Rocco, where's he going to go? He goes provisional pole position by about 0.5 over Lewis. Rocco puts his AlphaTauri on pole. Provisional pole with 10 minutes to go. An entire 0.5 over the Haas in 2nd place. Ollie Flavo, it seems that he's on a lap right now. He's currently on the medium tyres as he comes flying around the final couple of corners. Here he comes, Ollie Flavo. What can he do? What lap can he set? He's going to come across the line to set 1.8.5. So that was a bit disappointing and much worse than I was expecting. I still can't find the stream, and it's making me sad. I don't really know what to do, but I'll make it work, don't you worry. Hey, there you go. Also, F1's at the same time as this, so I imagine I'm just going to get overshadowed as Bran has just gone into the gravel. I was looking at my phone, but Bran loses the car through turn 3, I believe that, oh no, turn 4 or something, through there, as Bran sends it into the gravel. I'm not sure if he was on a lap or not, but I completely missed. I don't know how he did it, but he certainly did. And that just kind of shows that Austria can be a tricky track, despite being quite short and maybe quite easy, some might find. It can still be a little bit tricky. If you get it wrong, then you can definitely spin. I mean, I think Adam Corrigan in F4, I think he is, that dog. But I think he's in F4, and he spun maybe 3 times, lost a bit of wing throughout the race as well. But anyway, Matheus, he's coming through the final couple of corners. He's definitely on a lap, in hot lap. He's still got enough ERS to get by. He activates his DRS. He's going to come across the line. P4, he moves up one position, getting past Jamie Morris, who's dropped down from 2nd place last time I saw him, all the way down into 5th. So Jamie Morris moving down the order with a 3.1. Not an awful lap. He's not too far away from a few of the drivers ahead of him. But the top 4, at least, are very close together. I mean, not too much more than the 10th. Separating 1st to 4th, I think, if my math serves me right, and I think that is true. So this track, it shows things can be a little bit closer with it being a shorter track. Lap time is going down all the way into the 2 minutes. 1 minute and 2 seconds. Joey, he's not going to be able to set a lap as he invalidated there. Brand's in the pits. Most people are in the pits right now. We've got Jamie Morris currently on an out lap, who we're going to go on board with for a lap, as he's, I think, the only person who's really going to be going for a lap, as Rocco is also on an out lap. He will be trying to set a slightly faster time than he's done already, which I'm jealous of. I want that amount of pace, because I haven't played this game in a month because I'm bad in conclusion, and I crippled myself dying down a mountain. So there we go, Jamie Morris, he begins his lap coming to the first corner, doesn't get quite as much cut, and he goes out too wide on the exit. Now this track is so easy to invalidate and just so easy to get penalties on. You got a little bit wide in a certain corner, cut a little bit too much, it's a bit harder to cut, but if you go wide anywhere, it's just the game invalidated. I have a problem with track limits, but we're just going to deal with it because it's fine. But except Devon, he's put himself on provisional pole now, beating Rocco by another half a tenth as Ollie retires from the session. I don't know why I got the mini-map on. What am I doing? He retires in the pits, I believe that is. So I've absolutely no idea why he hasn't gone for another lap, because he has plenty of time. Maybe he just wanted to start outside the points, have a free set of tyres. I've just hit my controller against the desk. Maybe he just wants a free set of tyres or something in this race, but I really cannot be sure. Is anybody on a lap right now? Doesn't seem like it. We got Brandon on a lap, a couple of people. So yeah, that's pretty fun. Only 10 drivers left in qualifying right now. I'm not sure if anybody is going to be joining the lobby during this qualifying session to get in for the race, but I'm not too sure. Other than that, we've got 11 drivers. I've seen small grids have produced some great racing for me in my time. Can this race be one of them? Hopefully. I mean, we had a good turnout last week in Belgium, I think. One of these had a good turnout. Can't remember. But yeah, I don't think IRL this season has had the best turnout, so I can't lie. Rocco, he's beginning another lap now, so we're going to go on board with him, our current potential pole sitter. He can put up a fight with some of the top drivers in this league, as he himself is one of the top drivers. So Rocco, can he set a good lap? Can he put himself on pole? 5 minutes left to go in qualifying, so I'm not sure if he'll be able to set another lap if he goes and finishes this one. I'm not really too sure. Math is not my strong point. Going down the longest straight, maybe? Is that the longest straight? No, it's not. But anyway, one of the overtaking opportunities on this track, one of many I find you can kind of go for an overtaking move, maybe at least go side by side through every single corner on this track, other than the last two. If you go side by side through the final two, that could end very, very badly and not enjoyable for anyone. Rocco invalidates his lap coming through the left-handers, and he loses out on another lap, wears down those tyres just a little bit, but he has plenty of time to just sit in the pits and go for another lap a little later on, locking up into the pit lane, which is pretty fun. Lewis is also invalidated. Brand, is he on a lap? No, he's not. We've just got a couple of people on their out laps, and I'm going to go check on names now because I can. I've got a little bit of time. I'm just going to check up on the names, and yeah. If I can find, I need to find McPaper's name. I think he's one of the only people I don't actually know, and I can't find him on the thing because I don't actually know his name. So, why did I look at the driver lineup? Couldn't tell you that. I need the standings. That's what I need. Standings. Hey, there we go. Okay, so that also doesn't tell me the. I see. There's a driver's spreadsheet. Aha! We need to find this. I need to find McPaper. Where is it? I'm so sorry. But anyway, we've got McPaper on a lap right now. Most of the people are in the pits. We've got Devin, who's currently a provisional pole sitter. He is going out on an out lap now, so not long until he's going to set his lap, except his teammate. They are teammates. Yeah, they're teammates. He's currently on the lap right now, coming through these left-handers. He is almost the complete opposite to what his teammate is. So for constructors, he's going to want to improve on his lap, except I think McPaper's lap was set on the medium, so that's kind of fair enough. But what can he do? He comes into the final 2 corners now. 3 minutes and a half left on the board, so this will probably be his final lap. He accelerates towards the line, opens his DRS. He's going to come across the line now, and only... Oh, he said 3.4. That was a lot more anticlimactic than I was expecting. So anyway, he's currently in 9th, and he might have to just roll the car around for the rest of the time. And I haven't been checking the chat. People have said stuff. Hey, it's Kim. Thank you. Sorry. Thank you for telling me his name, Kim. Okay, I can deal with that name. That's quite an easy one. So anyway, 3 minutes to go. 4 people in the chat, so yeah, we got a small turnout in the stream and in the race, so there we go. But except Devin, Kim's teammate, currently on provisional pole. He's just behind that McLaren, which might be giving him a little bit of dirty air. He's 8 thousandths off his best time right now. Jamie Morris could be in his way, except this could be a tow for Devin, and that could really help him out. Jamie's not even on a lap, he's on an out lap. Is he going to get out of the way? Yes, he is. He's just giving him a tow down the straight. So Devin, had a little bit of an advantage. He still hasn't invalidated. So this could be a good lap for Devin. It could be a potential pole time. What can he do? He comes into the first left-hander. He's going to come into the second now, can't run wide. He does that nicely. Good turn in. He's 1/10 up on his time, which is going to be very, very good for him. Devin, maybe he's going to be able to take the pole position now, especially with that tow from Jamie Morris. I don't know if that was even planned. I don't know if they're friends. He comes through the final corner. Has he made any mistakes on this lap? We're just going to have to wait to see. It's going to be a 2.7 from Devin. 1/10 up on his best time. So that's a 2.7. Who behind him can take that pole position away from him? Potentially. You've got Rocco, you've got Lewis. Devin retires. He's happy with that lap. He doesn't go for another one. It could be Rocco, it could be Lewis, it could even be Felix, as he is not far away. We're just going to have to wait and see as we come into the final minute and a half from qualifying. And if that dog wasn't barking all day, and now he decides right now when I commentate, this is when we're going to bark, because that's just Fred. That's all we need to know. Fred. I just clicked off the stream. Am I stupid? Also, I'm really far behind on the stream. Oh no, I'm so stupid. Everything's going wrong for me. I was delayed starting the stream, the dog decided to happen, and everything is going wrong. There we go, much better. Anyway, there are yellow flags right now, as it looks like a McLaren. It wasn't, yeah, it wasn't Jamie actually, sorry, I was really confused then for a second. Oh! Racing Point goes spinning! That is Zeus! I've forgotten his name already. Oh, I hate myself. But Zeus goes flying off into the gravel. Luckily on this game, it doesn't stop your car completely as he lets the Williams by of Mateus. He gets stuck in the gravel. Must have made a mistake or something. It looked like he was very close to Jamie Morris. Lewis, he has invalidated his lap, so it could be qualifying over for him. There's still the yellow flags at that Racing Point, going really slowly on the track. Rocco coming into the final corner now. Can he take that pole position away? 30 seconds left to go. So if he wants to, he could go for another lap. He improves by 10th, but he's not close enough. He's 200ths away from that pole position. It doesn't quite work out for him. Lewis, it looks like he's going for his flying gap now. His final one. 15 seconds left to go. He crossed the line with just enough time. Looks like Felix is invalidated as well. He's going to go for one more lap. Luckily, only just gets across the line. 8 seconds. Everybody is on the lap now. The Racing Point is still going really slowly, and I can't really figure out why. Bran is disqualified, which means he's going to be starting from the back. I couldn't tell you why he's disqualified, but he is. But Lewis, he's invalidated his lap, so he's not getting pole position. I'm getting distracted by too much. I need a co-commentator to be able to tell me stuff, because I am not aware of anything. Joey retires from the session now. Now, I believe that was in the pit lane or on the straight, actually. It looks like he's on the track, which is an interesting one. But anyway, Felix, he is one of the only people in the top 5 still on a valid lap. And Teos, he's also invalidated his lap. So now Felix, he's 4/10 up on his time. Which, even with 4/10 up on his time, 100, sorry, 300 now, or I believe that can put him almost 3rd place. Almost. Black Phoenix, so Rocco and Devin, both very close up at the top. Felix now, can he get himself into the top 3? A potential podium? No, he can't. He's invalidated. I don't know where he invalidated, but he did. Oh, I'm so unaware. I'm so sorry. He improved by only 200, which wouldn't have put him up any more positions. So Felix, he's going to be starting this race from P4. Zeus, he's not on the lap right now. I've also got a cough. This isn't fun for me. I apologise a lot. Yeah, I apologise for pretty much everything. But anyway, Devin steals the pole position from Rocco by only 200s. Only 200s. The sister team of AlphaTauri can't beat the Red Bull today as he smashes his front wing. Okay, sure, that works too, I guess, but Rocco misses out by 200. So close to get that pole position. Devin puts in a good enough lap, just about good enough to take the pole position. Lewis, he's sitting pretty right now in 3rd place. He was a little bit over the way off, and I know Lewis, he's had some issues keeping the car on the track and finishing well during this season. I think he's had 3 retirements in a row, but the one race he did manage to finish, he came 2nd. So Lewis, he's not out of it yet. He's got potential. As long as he keeps on the track, I think he can do well. So anyway, Devin goes on pole by exactly 200. Lewis 2/10 behind Rocco. Behind him though is Felix Neguay in P4. Can he get himself a podium today? Not many drivers there, so any sort of retirement is going to kind of help everyone. One retirement that everyone gets points. Mateus puts it in P5, right in the middle of the grid. Joey in P6, Kim in 7, Zeus, I forgot his name, I'm really sorry, in 8th, Ollie in 9th, Jamie and Morris in 10th, and Bran, well, actually Jamie got disqualified as well, so Jamie and Bran both getting disqualified, both starting from P10 and 11. What can they do from the back? I think they both got good pace on this grid at least. So, coming into this race, I think if we went off qualifying, it looks like it's between Devin and Rocco for the race win. But let's not forget that everything's not done through quali. I mean, you can have great quali pace, except if you don't have that pace in the race, then you're finished. You won't do well. That is all. You just get overtaken by everyone who has race pace in the most part. So let's hope that is not the case, and everybody's got exactly equal race pace, and we have a great race. All 10, 11 cars all in a straight line, except that's not going to happen, and it makes me really sad. But I'm excited. Austria, good racing normally, small grid, can create good racing, or it can just be an absolute snooze fest and you may as well just take a 45-minute nap. But anyway, let's hope that is not the case and we have a good race. I'm on my own, so you're just going to have to listen to me waffle into your ears for the rest of the time. I did look at the championship standings earlier, but I've forgotten them quite promptly. So anyway, we're going to start the formation lap. It's the shortest formation lap. As always, you've got to do a lot of tyre warming, so you can get that best possible start. Hopefully nobody bangs into each other, because cold tyres off the start makes me cry. It is just awful. I mean, I'm not really sure what the big challenge is around this track is, other than keeping the car between the white lines, as I think it's not the easiest track to spin and crash out on by any means. I mean, the closest wall is probably Germany in most of the corners, and there goes Jamie Morris spinning on the formation lap, resets the track. I hate that feature with a passion, but Jamie Morris already spinning on the formation lap. We've seen this mistake come from a few drivers in the past, people like Robert Kubica. Verstappen crashed on an installation lap before, so we've got Shafi, that's what we're going to go with. He is hoping that Paper or Kim can get some points, as Felix and Lewis have had it coming together on the formation lap, both getting disqualified. So that's 3rd and 4th place in crucial positions, have really cold tyres. And this means that people like Mateus or Joey, they're going to have to get through those drivers on the cold tyres. If they can't do that straight away on this first lap while their tyres are cold, this means that Rocco and Devin could possibly run away on the start of this race. So that is a bit of a mistake from one of those two drivers. I don't know who hit who, but unfortunately. But yeah, Kim, he looks like he's got a little bit of support in the chat from our solid 3 viewers, one of them being me. So that's pretty cool. But we've seen Jamie Morris, he's had a spin on this formation lap already, so could we see a spin from him in the race? We're just going to have to wait and see as the final drivers line up at the back of the grid. We are about to get underway in Austria. The cars rev up their engines, the 5 red lights are on, and they're gone, and we are racing in IRL F2 Austria. It looks like Devin's got a good start off the line. Rocco can't do much about that. The Williams, he's already up into P3. It's a cold start. It's a Felix and Lewis are not having a good time. The Haas of Lewis goes out wide. Gets overtaken by the Williams and Joey. Felix is under pressure from Joey in the slipstream behind. Devin and Rocco have got a good gap already, except he's under pressure. The 2 Williams currently in P3 and P4, except they're still going side by side. Felix gets a little bit wiggly on the rear as he drops down into P5. Go from P4 to P5 now. Joey, he's in P4. Mateus, he goes up 2 positions into P3. They're going side by side the racing point, and the Mercedes, he goes up the inside. He tries to make a move on Felix, but it didn't quite work out for him. Zeus, he's in P6, and Lewis has an awful start going from P3 all on to P7, except he's back up into P6. Now he goes side by side with Zeus, still side by side. He went up the inside into the first left-hander, and there he goes. He gets that position back from Zeus, and now it's a rise of redemption for Lewis, hopefully through the rest of this race. Devin still leads the way, Rock on P2, but in the rest of the grid, everything's kind of been jumbled up, and I believe everybody right now is starting on this. No, never mind. The majority of drivers, other than 3, are starting on the softs compared to the mediums, except, a little bit of wheel banging though going on, maybe between Kim and Jamie Morris, as Kim is actually ghosted right now. I couldn't tell you why, but he is, except Bran, he's under pressure now. The number 69 compared to 47 or something like that. Jamie's going to have to go the long way round, around the outside. He's on the soft tyre, so he's got a little bit better traction than what Bran might. We've got a good view from Kim in the background there. They're still going side by side down this straight, as Bran, he's going to have to try and get that position. He's gone for the outside line again. The outside line seems to be preferred by a few of the drivers, I guess. Maybe he just couldn't quite find the space. But Jamie gets the move done on Brad. Maybe under traction. I'm not too sure. I'm sorry. I'm just so unaware. I am not functioning today, and I apologise oh so much. Please don't fire me. But anyway, Felix, he's in P5. He's dropped down a position or so. We're going to have a look at who's dropped down what. So the top 2 staying nicely where they were at the start. Mateus going up 2, Joey going up 2, Felix going down 1, Lewis going down 3, our biggest loser other than Kim. Devin sets the fastest up in the race, which is no surprise. DRS is now enabled, so we can expect a few more overtakes coming down these straights. I imagine, DRS straights can be a thing, except Lewis, he's all over the back of the Felix right now. I believe they're probably in a party together. Lewis pulls over to the outside. Can he take the Haas around the outside with the black Mercedes? It looks like he can, and Felix can't really fight back. He loses down another position. He drops down 2. Except he's going to come back at him now. He's still got the DRS. Can he find space on Lewis? He pulls to the inside. A quick slap to the inside. He's going to have to go late on the brakes. Lewis is late. Felix is late. All locking up. Except it looks like Lewis, he's just about been able to get him this time around into these left-handers. Unless you're completely side by side. Pretty much no overtaking opportunity is really there, I imagine. But anyway, Felix hits the grass and a big slide. It's an absolute miracle he saved that car. Some fantastic driving from Felix to actually keep that on the road. I respect that a lot, except that's lost him time to Lewis, and it's put him possibly under pressure to Zeus behind him. Anyway, everyone's still within a second of each other, so nobody really falling off the pace right now. Ollie's down in P11, Kim is in P10. Brand goes up 2 positions into 9th. Can he get himself any higher? We're just going to have to wait and see. I believe it's the Williams boys who are currently winning the championship fight in the Constructors. So they're starting P3 and P4, so they're still bringing home the biggest points haul of any team that is here today, as we have a few drivers just kind of on their own. But except plenty of teammate pairings are here, as the first 3-second time penalty comes in from Brandon Glover, as he's actually dropped down 1 second to the cars ahead of him. So Bran gets himself his first 3-second time penalty. He's starting much further back than what I think he would have liked. I think Bran could be under pressure here. He needs to get some good points to make himself feel happy about himself and, help him and Felix do something in the Constructors. Jamie Morris is now beginning to close down on Zeus ahead of him. I'm sorry, I would try and figure out Zeus's name, except all the spreadsheets I couldn't really figure out who was who, so I really do apologise. But anyway, he's under pressure, Jesus. He's got no DRS. He's dropped a second to Felix ahead of him. So Jamie Morris, he has an awful line through there. Gets himself a 3-second time penalty. He just couldn't hit the apex at all, which just compromised his run onto his straight. And loses time, except Lewis. He's got around the outside of the Williams and Joey, trying to split them up. Can it be a Williams sandwich for Lewis? That's what he wants. He's currently ahead. It's going to be a drag race down the straight. Who's got more straight line speed? Lewis, he's going to have to go around the long way on the Williams. Who's going to have later on the brakes? It looks like they're still locking up. Wheel banging again, still side by side somehow. Lewis is a little bit behind. He's still going to stick it up the inside though. He's still there. He's just about in front. And it looks like Joey, he's had to back out, and Lewis makes a beautiful overtake to get in between the two Williams. And Joey loses down one position. Felix is a little bit behind these two. Except, hang on a second, Joey's come back. He's going to go over the inside in the second last corner. Except it didn't quite work for him, and I thought he was going to go and just pull off a saucy move there, and I was going to get very excited. But anyway, Joey drops down one position, and Felix, he's caught up a lot as these two have been fighting a little bit too hard, a little bit too much. And this means Felix, he's closed up quite a lot, and maybe he can get himself joining in on the action. Maybe. I mean, with everyone having DRS, it's making everything a little bit harder. Except Jamie Morris, he pulls to the inside. He goes up the inside of the medium runner at the racing point on the mediums. Zeus drops down one as, oh, looks like Paper might have made a little bit of a mistake. As Bran, he's now all over his rear end. Kim has no DRS at all. And now Bran, he can take it side by side, but can he take the position? It looks like he can as they all lock up, and a switchback from Kim. It looks like he's actually pulled that off. He's going to be going side by side into the left-handers. Other people still fighting ahead. Kim pulls out, doesn't decide to fight that too much. Ollie, he's sitting behind this little fight, so maybe he can get himself a couple more positions the more they fight. 30 laps to go as Devon, he's coming around the final corner now. Once he crosses the line, 30 laps are left in this race. A couple of drivers dropping out of the second margin, except everybody's still relatively close together. This 11-car grid still giving us a bit of entertainment at this stage in the race. Now, the predicted strategy is normally a soft to medium, I do believe. Soft to medium, except you can't really pull that off. Soft to hard will work too. So I'm expecting the first pit stops to start happening maybe around lap 9, as I think Kim might have made a mistake. He loses out of position to Brandon Ollie, so he drops down another position. Into P11 he goes. I don't think he's having a great race. He had a supporter asking for him to get some points, except it looks like that's not happening right now unless somebody retires. I wouldn't be surprised if somebody retired, but I mean, I guess less cars, less retirements, but if there is one retirement, then everybody gets a point other than the person who retired. No, if I was that person, I would probably cry, because oh yeah, it's not fun being the only one not to get points, as Lewis knows all too well, as he's also got himself the nickname before. No points Lewis, as he went an entire season without getting a single point. And that might actually be the case for me in most of my leagues, as I haven't raced in a month. So anyway, coming on to lap 8 now, everybody's just kind of in a nice procession. And if I had a co-commentator with me, I could bounce off some theories. Who's going to win the race? What are they going to do? I can't. I'm just sitting here on my own, waffling into your ears. I apologise. Kim gets himself a 3-second time penalty. I think a lot of this race could be decided on the time penalties, as it's just so easy to do that. As Brandon gets past Ollie Flavel somewhere on the straight now. Bran's vulnerable, and Ollie, he's got the DRS and the slipstream, except he's just not catching to Bran at all. Did he even have the DRS open? He just didn't catch at all in the straight. Maybe Ollie's got a DRS fader or some sort of issue, as he's just lost time to Bran. That did not go well for him. Except at the front, Devon, he's almost got himself a crucial 1 second gap to Rocco behind him. If he can get that 1 second gap, I wouldn't be surprised if he just pulls away, as DRS helps a lot with keeping like a distance to the cars behind you, as Devon sets the fastest lap of the race despite being one of the only drivers not to have DRS. Ollie gets himself a 3-second time penalty, one of many already in this race, as I think that might actually be his second, possibly already. Couldn't be too sure. I'm sorry, I'm not very good at keeping track of all of that. Except, as I was saying, that Devon almost has a second gap to the drivers behind him. That's starting to shrink, as it's almost below 5 tenths now already, so I guess I might have cursed Devin, and I apologise to Devin. As Rocco, he's starting to close in now. Are the soft tyres of Devin starting to wear off just a little bit? That has potential, but everybody from 1st to 6th have all got DRS in each other, so an almighty DRS train, half the grid, all on the same piece of track, just towing each other along. And it's always boring because nobody overtakes anyone, and I don't like it. I'm not a big fan of this sort of era, the hybrid era of F1. It's just kind of awful unless you're a Mercedes fan or like boring races. That's all I can say. I mean, league racing proves some nice racing and everything, but sometimes things like this just kind of becomes a procession, and this game I don't enjoy so much due to its unholy amount of glitches and issues and problems. But anyway, here we go. Here comes Zeus. He's going to go up the inside of Jamie. Easy as you like on the straight. I need to read what's going on the track. If I commentate alone, then I should be able to... I should get yourself a multiple personality so I'm no longer alone. But anyway, Jamie Morris, let's not focus on the comment just now. He's going to go around the outside of the racing point. Can he do something about that? He's on the softs. Zeus is on the mediums. They exactly side by side, still going side by side. Jamie Morris drops in behind the racing point. He just sits in behind. Can't really do much about that. I think the mediums are beginning to get the better tyre right now. I mean, maybe I could bring in, I don't know, a multiple personality, a Russian called Vladimir, a German called Gunther. Maybe one of those two things I could incorporate into a stream, except I could try and not be racist. There's a yellow flag down at the back, and I think, was that Brian Glover having an issue? No, it's Ollie Flavel going into the pits. Okay, there's just yellow flags following that little kind of thing at the back, except they're going side by side. I'm getting distracted. Oh, useless. Rocco and Devin going side by side into the first couple of corners. Now, Rocco, this is his chance to get past Devin. Can he do it? He's going to go pull to the outside. He's going to brake late, except so does Devin. They're still side by side. Devin, he's still in front now. The sister team of Rocco in the AlphaTauri couldn't get past. We saw an AlphaTauri ruin in real life with Pierre Gasly. Can we see that today? Mateus, he's catching up as well. Rocco just behind. I'm really sorry that I'm not keeping up with everything. I am not functioning today at all. I don't function well on my own. This is why I'm normally the second commentator and Felix carries me. Me commentating on my own just kind of highlights all of my issues. As Rocco, after he tried to make his oh wait, never mind, he's pit. This isn't fun. But anyway, Lewis, he's just behind Mateus. I was about to say Rocco, he lost a little bit of time to Devin, except that is kind of explained due to the fact that he pit. Now here comes Lewis. Mateus, he hasn't got as much slipstream as Lewis does. Lewis, he's going to go around the outside. Everybody seems to be going around the outside today, except Mateus, he still breaks late and holds up the inside. Lewis didn't quite get the traction that Mateus got, and Mateus just kind of flew away from him, except Lewis, he's going to go pulling to the outside again to try and make his move. Mateus, he's still on the inside though, both locking up the front tyres. Lewis, he's just about ahead of Mateus. He's still going to be able to hold around the outside though. He just has better traction than Lewis, except he couldn't hold it through the left-handers and loses out the position, loses second spot to Lewis. And down he goes into P3. And now are we going to be seeing all of the other drivers coming into the pits now? I believe we might, just all following what Rocco did. As Rocco goes onto the hards, in fact, as Lewis decides to pit along with Devin. Both going into the pits. Lewis locks up, so does Devin. Not good for the tyres, except they're pitting. They're changing onto new tyres, so that's always good for them. 13 laps finished, completed on this race, so that means 23 to go. That fills me with dread. That's a lot of laps. There's quite a few drivers decide to pit now. Half of the grid almost has decided to pit, with only the medium runners and 3 soft runners deciding not to pit. Joey, he's just behind Mateus. So the 2 Williams currently running a 1-2 as they're trying to go for a bit more of an overcut on all the other drivers. I've just clicked off the game. Oh, rip. Also needs to charge my controller, so that's something I'm going to do, otherwise I'm going to run out of charge at some point during this race. So that's pretty cool. Looking at it now, who has changed positions in the fight for this race lead? Rocco has overtaken Devin in the pit lane. He's got past him now, And this means that Rocco has put himself into provisional race lead. Devin behind him though is on the mediums and on the faster tyres, as the clouds seem to be rolling in now in Austria. Could we see rain in this race? Rain will make it much more boring, and I'm not a big fan of wet races in general other than the chaos. The chaos is fun when you have a full grid, but when you have a small grid, kind of turns into an awful race if I'm honest. But anyway, pit window is now apparently open for Devin. I couldn't tell you why, but with the clouds rolling in, could we be seeing a potential wet race here in Austria? Devin, he's got the DRS, he's got the slipstream, he's got the faster tyres, and there he goes. Breezes past Rocco. Rocco's not going to be able to fight against that now, is he? Absolutely no chance. Now, on the slipstream and DRS, can he do anything? Devin just gets a better traction. He has the better tyres, and that's helping him so much. I don't think Rocco's going to be able to close up to him. Nope, doesn't happen. And this could be Devin's chance to just pull away and steal a potential race win away from Rocco, unless he can keep up with him. But at this stage in the race, I feel like that's unlikely, with the mediums just being quicker than the hards. As the hards feels like you're trying to drive a tugboat with, I don't know what makes a tugboat slower. Feels like you're driving a skip combined with a tugboat. Imagine a skip and a tugboat made sweet, sweet love and had a child. That's what it feels like driving on the hards. So there we go. Now, any fights going on the grid, Lewis is kind of close to Rocco. They're on the same tyres. Lewis's tyres are 1 lap younger. Bran gets himself 3-second time penalty along with somebody else, I'm not too sure, but at this stage in the race, doesn't look like there's that many fights really going on. Bran is close to Ollie, and actually this could be a fight. Bran braking very late, getting close to the back of Ollie. Who's got the better traction? Looks like it's Ollie Flavel. Just able to pull away a little bit from Bran. Bran, is he going to get close enough to be able to make a move? He pulls the inside. No chance. Virtual safety car? Why on earth is there a virtual safety car? Ha! Okay. In conclusion, virtual safety car. Could this benefit Joey actually? Joey's got a long time on these softs. He's going to pull into the pits after this virtual safety car stays out. This could benefit him quite a nice amount actually. I mean, oh, never mind, it's green flags again, so maybe Joey won't benefit as much as I thought. Bran, he's all over the back of Ollie right now as Jamie Morris retires from the session on a straight. Okay, Lewis gets a 3-second time penalty. I couldn't explain to you how Jamie Morris crashed. I'm just going to guess that he put that into the... Actually, there's a bump on that corner, so that shouldn't really send you into the wall. As Joey drops down to P8. Bran, he's close to Ollie. He's going to pull to the outside. Going to go around the long way. He's in game chat actually, which is fun to see. Bran doesn't have better traction than Ollie, it seems. I mean, he gets relatively close on the straight, but then Ollie on the straight just pulls away. 21-ish, 20 laps to go left of this race. As everybody just locks up into that corner, as there's no flat spots in this game, you're just completely fine with that. You just kind of vibe with locking up. It doesn't really make a difference to you. So yeah, it's too early for the bump. I'm just going to assume that Jamie Morris turned into the wall. Can't lie. I think it's very likely that Jamie Morris just wasn't having it and put it into the wall. He's done that before. Wouldn't be surprised if he does it again. I mean, a bit harsh I guess, but that's all I can really say. Sorry Jamie, love you really. But anyway, Devin, he's really close to Brandon Glover now, just ahead of him. Devin is currently in the official race lead. He's hit the back of Bran. He's made a big mistake. And Rocco, he could actually get past him now. Devin, has he cost himself the race win here? Maybe. Devin just has better straight line speed, so Rocco couldn't capitalise on that the way he might have wanted to. As Lewis is actually going side by side with Rocco. I was on board with Rocco. And Lewis, he's going to go side by side on the Alpha Tauri. Oh, everything's starting to get a little bit spicy as Devin pulls into the back of Brian. I saw no damage, so that's quite lucky for him. Lewis moves up one position as... Oh, Lewis actually got really close to Devin as well. What is happening? I wasn't expecting Devin to get quite so close to Brian. He just broke a little bit too late and almost actually did hit the rear and lost himself a lot of time. So this... Oh, Devin! So wiggly on the rear, making a few mistakes right now, and that is not going to help him. So everybody comes into a DRS train once again as the race is going to come across the line It's going to be lap 18 now. There we go. Here comes Devin. He's going to want to take that second place away from Brand. Get another car who has a pit in between him and the drivers behind. So there you go. Can Devin get 2 cars between him and the next car that is actually in the fight for the race win? It's potential. Lewis, he might make a move, except Brandy's going to go around the outside of Devin if he can. He's still fighting for it. Lewis on the traction makes a little bit of contact with Brand, and they're just losing time. Brand just got a little bit of a wiggle on the rear. As you can see, the AlphaTauri's closing up. Rocco, he's going to go pull to the inside, brakes late, everybody locking up into a cloud of smoke, and the AlphaTauri gets past the Mercedes, and there you go, easy as you like. Brand, he's under pressure again. Brand is falling through the order as he's just getting overtaken car after car after car. He's really not in this fight, I can't lie, as I don't know who's fighting or what, but there you go. Brand gets overtaken by Mateus, and everything seems to be coming back to normal, except Ollie Flavel pulls the inside, gets overtaken by Lewis, and that is going to be the end of that fight. Ollie pulls into the pits, probably for softs, as Jamie Morris leaves the session after his retirement, so everybody here left will get a point provided they don't retire, and as long as they're within 90%. If they do retire, it's Lewis. You saw that traction. He had none of it at all. Devin has a second gap already, which is really going to help him out. Except this lot, maybe at the end of the race they're going to have better tyres, especially, except it's not going to help Lewis if he keeps doing things like that, getting slidey. As you also saw Brand, he had a big bit of wheel spin, as there you go. Rocco looks like he's going to be able to get past Lewis, as Lewis has no DRS, except he can still brake late and hold around the outside potentially. No, it doesn't quite work for him. Mateus not quite close enough to capitalise on any of the fighting that's going on ahead of him, except if he just sits here and waits, that's potential. Not if he goes out that wide, that is not going to help him at all. But anyway, we suddenly just shot up to 9 viewers, which is quite nice to see. Hello, welcome, nice to see you. But anyway, Devin has a 1.4 second gap right at the front. That is really good to see from him, as the more he builds the gap now while his tyres are better, the better chance that he's going to have when the tyres come into the hard's favour towards the end of this race. Lewis, he's closing up to Rocco, the AlphaTauri ahead. He's so close, and I think he's going to be able to get on this straight. Look at the traction, look at the dominance of speed that the Haas has over that AlphaTauri, except Rocco isn't finished quite yet, except no, he just wasn't quite close enough to be able to dive it down the inside. He has DRS on him now. Lewis had the DRS in him and just breezed past. Rocco is a little bit further away. He has the DRS to slipstream. Doesn't look like it's going to work out for him. There you go, there's the lockups that we are so used to seeing Mateus. He's still close to this fight. The more he sits behind, the more he waits, the more potential, I guess, as long as they fight, it's more likely he's going to be able to overtake as the Mercedes swap positions, possibly team orders as Felix and Brand just switch positions. There you go, 6th and 7th for them. Maybe not the best race, they're not too far away from this leading fight. Maybe they could catch up. Brand still has to pit though, he's gone 19 laps in this mediums. It's not going to be long until he pits, except I think his tyres are probably dying. As you can see, there's definitely a blister happening on that tyre. Mateus not too far away from Rocco. Rocco too far away from Lewis to be able to make a move. As long as he gets a good bit of traction though, I wouldn't be surprised if he can make an overtake coming into this next corner. He's close to him under the brakes, under traction. Lewis, he gets a little bit wiggly on the rear. Can Rocco capitalise on that? Looks like he will, just a little bit. Can he get close enough? 2 seconds to the car ahead of Devin. Doesn't look like it's happening today. Not this lap at least. No move being made just yet. 15 laps to go though in this race, and it could get spicy for the end. That's what I'm going to put it down to. It could get spicy. Just maybe a lot of aggressive moves coming to the final 5 laps. Maybe, just maybe. I think we could potentially see a fight for the race win, because Devin, he almost has 2 seconds to the cars behind, but once those mediums start to get a little bit old, I mean, by the end of this race they're going to be maybe about 20 laps old, and they're not going to be pretty. Whether the hards, they're going to be slightly better, at least a bit quicker towards the end of this race, and maybe Devin could be on the pressure from Lewis. Lewis's best position, his best finish so far has been 2nd place in this season, and he's retired from the last 4 races maybe, as Brand gets overtaken by Zeus somewhere. I'm not sure how that happened or whatever. But anyway, I'm really sorry I missed that. Brun gets overtaken by Zeus. Except Brun, can he come back at him? Back at the racing point. Oh, around the outside, he breaks late. He tries to do it. It didn't quite work out for him though. Those mediums are shit. Oh, not fun. Not fun to drive on. I feel his pain right now. Is probably disgusting. But anyway, we've got Haas, we've got an AlphaTauri, we've got the two Williams drivers all together right now on the track, sitting together, having a nice time. So you know how it is. This Dutch is going to probably drive in this procession for a while. I think Lewis couldn't come into pressure from Rocco as long as Rocco closes up that gap. I think we could maybe just see a procession as it is right now, unless Joey looks like he's trying to race his teammate. 13 laps to go, 14 laps if you want to be specific. But anyway, for these last few laps, I think it's likely they're just going to stay as it is. No stupid fights. Brand finally pits onto the soft tyres, so he's going to be the fastest right now. Probably going to get a fastest lap, as he's the only one on the softs, unless somebody decides to get wing damage. I don't think anyone would decide to do that. But actually, maybe somebody like Kim could try and go for a fastest lap. Maybe Ollie. I'm not really too sure. I mean, a few drivers could try and get a fastest lap if they know they can't get any more positions, but it really depends on what they find is worth it. But you know, again, these drivers just sitting together waiting for the final few laps of this race to really make a move. Lewis isn't getting overtaken right now, as it doesn't seem Rocco is quite getting close enough to be able to make a move on the straights with the DRS slipstream. Not quite benefiting him enough during this race. But anyway, some of the drivers are only about 4 tenths away, but as long as they've got slipstream and DRS ahead, even if you're only 4 tenths away from the driver in front, you just can't make a move. And it's kind of annoying. DRS trends aren't fun, but DRS makes more overtaking more fun races anyway, so I guess we just kind of have to live with it. The Williams, are they going to start fighting? Joey looks like he might be going around the outside, and oh, he nearly does. Mateus is under pressure from his own teammate. This could lose him time, except Joey has to sit behind for just one more lap. He's getting very close to his teammate now, and that little bit of sign of aggression could mean that these two maybe won't cooperate for this race and will fight each other. Could that cost them a potential double podium even? Maybe. It just all comes down to what will happen in the final 10 laps, maybe even 5 laps of this race, I imagine. Mateus is close to Rocco. Rocco's a little bit off Lewis, with time penalties as well. I can't really remember who has what time penalties, but with time penalties, that'll decide a little bit more of this race. As Mateus is actually going to go around the outside of Rocco, maybe. No, doesn't happen in turn 3. Decided not to, but anyway, he's really close and on the traction. Oh, he's getting squeezed! He's on the grass! Rocco run him almost completely out of track. They're going side by side. Can he lunge up the inside? I think he might get a little bit aggressive. Oh, the puffs of smoke. Now the Williams, he gets good traction. No, he's going to be in front of Rocco for the left-handers. The Williams and Mateus gets in front. And there you go. There you have it. Mateus gets up into the podium positions after Rocco maybe squeezed him just a little bit too far out of track. I mean, that was a bit questionable driving, but it was interesting. So you decide which is better. I mean, having nice clean racing or having something interesting. That's up for you to decide. 10 laps to go, and Joey, can he do what his teammate did and get past Rocco and get himself up into P4? Let's just wait and see. Joey, he's close behind. He's very close behind. Except Rocco has got the DRS, and I think Rocco's got slightly better straight line speed. And so, except Joey, he's going to dive it up the inside. He brakes really, really late, and he goes for it. They're running exactly side by side. Who has the better straight line speed? It looks like it's going to be Rocco, except we've just seen Joey. He's happy to brake late, and I think he'll do it again. He's going to go up the inside. There he goes in the same corner that his teammate did. Not much space for Rocco, and not enough traction for him either. He gets overtaken by the Williams and drops down into P5. So 2 laps, 2 positions lost for Rocco as Bran actually overtakes Ollie Flywheel. They're going side by side. Oh, Ollie! What a move that is! Completely outbrakes himself and just kind of hits Bran out the way. Bran on the traction, no, he's still better on his soft tyres. I mean, I'm not sure what Ollie's planning here is. I think Bran's quite clearly the fastest driver. Maybe they're just having a little bit of fun. Bran, lovely move around the outside. There you go. Bran moves himself up to P9 as Ollie made a very late move and hit Bran. I'm not sure that's going to make too much of a difference between them unless Bran can catch up to paper ahead. 3 seconds on the soft tyres. We'll have to see. But anyway, back up to the front, into the top 5. 2.3 seconds. Splits first and second right now. Lewis only 2.2, 2.3 away from Devon ahead. I think it could maybe mean that the hards can catch potentially. It depends on how much the mediums go off right at the end of this race and how much those hard tyres have stayed together. Joey, he's on the mediums as well, except his tyres are 3 laps younger than Devon, and he's actually not been able to fight too much with these drivers. I didn't even realise. I kind of assumed everybody was on the hard. So Joey and Devon, the only one in this top 5 who are on the mediums and are putting up a fight right now. So Joey, he has not really been able to put up too much of a fight with these hard drivers, and Devon has lost 3 tenths now to Lewis. So this could be interesting. Are the mediums starting to lose a little bit of life, and those hards are coming into play?